Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Michelle and today I'm vlogging. I did promise at the start of the year that I would do more vlogs and I haven't done that, mainly because I don't go anywhere. That's really why there hasn't been as many vlogs, but I hope that is going to change. That is the plan. But I thought I would do this one today because I'm restarting a diet. That diet is the Cambridge Weight Plan. Now, a quick bit of history. I lost 5 stone on the Cambridge Weight Plan back in 2011. I managed to keep that weight off for about a year and a half before slowly weight started piling back on, and I kept flitting between doing that diet, doing other diets in between. We moved house, we had a lot of personal problems going on, and I suffered from depression, went on antidepressants. Loads and loads of stuff has happened obviously in the last 5 years. It's impossible for me to go through it all, and I likened it to a bit to like bouncing a ball. So I was okay for a long time just bouncing this ball, maintaining my weight, not losing anything but not really gaining anything either, and then eventually this ball was getting in. You know when you are bouncing like a basketball and it gets further and further away until it just goes off into the distance, and that is essentially what happened. I put back on that 5 stone and more, and I've ended up at basically the most I've ever weighed in my whole life, and it's turned me into a recluse, which is really sad because even though I've been overweight my whole life, I've always been really outgoing, I've always gone out, I've always enjoyed myself. And now I don't anymore. I really do struggle. In fact, at the weekend we went to a safari park, me and my husband. My son was at work. We only did the road safari rather than the foot safari, and the reason we didn't do the foot safari, number one, was because I do struggle with walking now. It hurts if I walk for a long time, if I can't sit down. My back really starts to ache. So I can't do it like I used to, which is really sad and fucked up in itself. And also as well because the amount of people that were there, I just froze in the car. I said to my husband Steve, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't get out of the car, and enough is enough. I have decided to commit myself 100% to Cambridge Weight Plan again, because I know that when I did this before in 2011, I did it 100%. There was no cheating going on. There was no, well, I'll just have this, it's okay. As weight has come back on over the last couple of years, but especially in the last two, it's pissing me off and it's depressing me even more and more. So today, the 9th of May 2016, is the day that I'm restarting. So this morning I've had my smoothie. I'm about to have my bar for lunch. I will have another shake this afternoon, and then this evening, Cambridge now do meals, so I will be having one of those, and my milk allowance. That is basically for me. My weight and my BMI is 1,200 calories a day. Some might argue, oh, meal replacement, that's not good for you, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what? You do you, I'll do me. This can work for me. It has worked for me, and it will work for me again. I'll be fine, and I'm also under control of my, under supervision of my doctor as well. So, let's see how this goes. I hope next week when I do a vlog that I'll be able to report a weight loss. I have got several pictures up around me in my bedroom come office of when I lost all of that weight back in 2011, when I felt on top of the world. Quite frankly, I was still overweight. I was still very overweight, but I felt amazing because it was the first time in my whole life that I had lost a substantial amount of weight. And by substantial, I mean more than 2 stone, because 2 stone was always sort of like whatever weight loss plan I did, and I've done them all, believe me: Slimming World, Weight Watchers, Atkins, F Plan, Cabbage Soup, The Zone, South Beach, Starving Myself, all of them. I've done literally every single damn diet in the world from quite a young age. I think literally about 8 or 9. I remember clearly going to the doctor when I was maybe 8, and him saying that I was too fat and that all I should be eating was a Rivita, a boiled egg and a lettuce leaf and maybe an orange, and that's a doctor, when I was 8 years old. And I think that has set me up for a lifetime of bad eating habits and bad dieting habits. And so I've constantly been on a diet in one form or the other since that age, really. And I'm now nearly 40. I'll be 40 in September. I remember my mum taking me to a Weight Watchers meeting in like a really old-fashioned church hall, where they had the really old-fashioned scales with the bar thing that you slide across, and feeling humiliated that I was being weighed in front of people because I knew I was a fat kid, and I was always the fat kid. I was bullied in secondary school. I wasn't bullied per se in primary school, but there were a couple of incidents where girls, I went to an all-girls school, said things to me, and I still haven't forgotten them to this very day. So to any people that made fun of me growing up, if that plan was to make me lose weight, that didn't work. And a lifetime of yo-yo dieting has produced this. And a few weeks ago, I had a big old rant on Facebook about it. The other thing that I have gone to my doctors several times over the years is for my thyroid. I'm convinced I have a thyroid problem. I have had a test done by my doctors several times over the years. And I've always been told, no, you don't have an underactive thyroid. But now that I've kind of reached an age where I can check things out for myself online, I see that the test that they've been giving me is not the full test. They just gave me one of the blood tests, and I've read on the NHS website that basically you need to have a series of tests, and these tests combined will tell you whether you've got an underactive thyroid. And the reason I went back to my doctors recently was because my brother was diagnosed with an underactive thyroid. So if he has got it, there's every chance that I might have. Similarly with the polycystic ovaries, one of my sisters also got polycystic ovaries. I have also said if I have the full test and it comes back saying that you don't have a thyroid problem, then I'll shut up forevermore about it. But considering someone told my mum when I was a kid, she thought that I had a thyroid problem. Now, whether in the 80s they didn't do tests on kids or what, I don't know. I added up all of my weight losses and gains in 2016 so far, and was quite shocked to see that I've lost and gained 2 stone. So if I'd carried on losing each week, that's what I would have lost. But because I was yo-yo dieting, no, I haven't. I'm not here to make excuses for myself. I've done that my whole life. You know, sometimes things have worked, sometimes they haven't. I've been told by a professor at St Bart's that I will never lose weight on my own, that the only way I'll ever lose weight is if I have bariatric surgery, which is like a gastric band or whatever. I've said to him, no, I don't want to have that, and the reason I don't want to have that is because I don't want to go under the anaesthetic. I don't want to go under the operating table. None of that. I've got a big fear of that, so no, I'm not doing that. He did put me on some medication for my polycystic ovaries. It was a diabetic drug. I'm not diabetic, by the way. And one of the side effects of that drug was weight loss. Now, it's just typical that of all the people, and he said that every single patient he had that had been on this drug lost weight. So it's just bloody typical that I am the one person that didn't lose weight. So after a while, and it was an injection, and so injecting myself every day in the hope of losing weight. And bearing in mind back then, I used to do a lot of swimming, I used to do a lot of walking, and I still didn't lose weight. So I thought, fuck this, I'm not going to bother with this anymore. When I went and saw him in 2010 and he told me this, when I went in 2011 and started doing Cambridge, I obviously lost all of that weight, and I never got a follow-up appointment for that. And I wanted to go back and say, fuck you, but I did lose weight. But now I've put it all back on, so I guess the joke's on me. I'm drawing a line under it. I'm sick of living my life as a recluse. I'm sick of not being able to go out. I'm sick of not being able to walk very far without being in absolute pain. I'm sick of feeling like some sort of shitty citizen of the world because of my weight. Now, I know all of that is within me. You know, I know plenty of people that are fat and really happy with the way they are, and I applaud them for that. And I think to myself, do you know what, I wish that could be me, but unfortunately it can't. I'm under no illusion that I will lose all the weight that I have to be a normal weight, because that's not my plan. My plan is to get to a certain size and a certain weight, and then once I've reached that, my plan from then on for the rest of my life is to just maintain that. And for me personally, on my 40 before 40 list, one of them was to get to a size 18 to 20 UK size, and that's still my goal. I'm not going to do that for my 40th birthday. For my 40th birthday, I'm currently a size 32. I think I would like to try for my 40th, which is in 4-ish months, to maybe get down to a size 28, maybe a size 26, depending on a few factors. One of them being losing some weight so that I can exercise again, and number 2, how much exercise I will be able to do. Because quite frankly, at the size I am now, it hurts to do anything for a prolonged amount of time, and that includes simple things like walking a long distance. So I have to take it in little bursts of a few minutes and then stop and it's horrible. And do you know what the sad thing is? It's not because I'm out of breath. It's because it hurts, because my back hurts, because my legs hurt, because my body can't carry around this weight anymore. And I've spent so many. If I added up all the times I've been crying, it would probably equal months, if not years, of my life that I've spent crying about my weight. And I'm not going to cry about it anymore. I'm just going to focus on losing what I want to lose. I've got myself a little, I made myself a little colouring in chart with Mickey Mouse, because my first goal is my 40th birthday, where I'm also going on holiday to Walt Disney World. And when I first made that, which was on the 24th of April, I'm looking up because it's above me on the desk, I worked out roughly £4 a week would give me around 70 to 80 pounds weight loss if I could do £4 a week, which for me, if I stick to something, is possible to the start of September, which I think £80 is about 5 stone. That might be a little bit too ambitious. I say I'm going to stick to this 100%, but there are going to be times when I'm not going to be able to, that I am going to want to go out with my husband or with my family, or we'll have people over. I won't be able to stick to my plan 100%. But what I have to remember is back in 2011, I still had things going on in my life, but I always used to pull it back in, and that's something that I've not done. Recently I'd sort of go off the rails, and I'd go off the rails for a couple of days. Now, diet and weight loss for everyone is a personal thing. It's something that works differently for different people. It's not as easy as calories in, calories out, because I've proved that wrong so many times in my life, so many times. That is just shut up with that shit. You do what works for you. I've already had my, sorry, my phone. So about that, my husband's calling me on his daily lunch break. He always calls me at lunch. But yeah, so where was I? Yeah, talking about this Cambridge thing. So yeah, so that's the plan between now and my birthday, then obviously our holiday, and then once I'm home from holiday, continuing on. The thing for me is I've been overweight my whole life. So when you're nearly 40 and you've always been fat, then you don't know any different. The ultimate thing is for me is actually, I'm probably not actually that bothered about being fat. What I'm most bothered about is being unfit, because even when I was just a couple of stone lighter than I am now, I was very fit, and I used to go swimming every day, and I used to do Zumba every day. And by swimming I mean 64 lengths in an hour, swimming at a very high weight, and getting funny looks from the thin people in the pool, wondering what the hell I was doing. I was swimming, bitch, what are you doing? Staring at me, nothing better to do with your time. I am a good swimmer, and I can swim. I'm like a fish. In fact, I'm like a mermaid, a joyous fat mermaid. And similarly with my Zumba, I used to do it at home on my Wii, and I used to do a 50-minute routine. I used to be fit, and I used to walk everywhere as well, and now I can't do anything. I can do 3 minutes of Zumba. I haven't been swimming for ages. The last time we went swimming I did about 20 lengths. Yeah, as for walking, that is just, I can't walk very far for very long at all, unless I can sit down somewhere. If I can sit down for a couple of minutes and take the weight off my back and my legs, and I'm okay, but not walking continuously like I used to. And that makes me really sad, because it's made me feel like less of a human being, and I don't want to feel like that anymore. Whether I actually use this video remains to be seen. I'm going to look back at everything that I've recorded, see what I can splice together from the different little videos that I've done. So if it's a little bit all over the place, then well, that's the breaks, isn't it? Who cares? So until next week's vlog, which was just really, it's not even a vlog, is it? Just I'm just chatting to my camera, and which I find really bizarre actually. Don't know how people do it all the time. I think maybe next time I do one of these, I need to write down the topics, see what I'm going to discuss. I am a bit of a rambly person. That's why I decided to do this as a video instead of writing it. But I think actually writing it would have been easier, because I could go back and edit it and see what I'd said and all of this sort of stuff. Oh, and also as well, noise from the traffic outside. It's a hot day, I've got the windows open, and I live on a busy main road. So there are lorries and buses and motorbikes and police cars and all sorts going by at pretty much the whole day. There's a bus. So until next time, as always, please take a moment to like, comment and subscribe. Especially comment if you have battled with your weight, or you are trying to lose weight. If you've got a lot of weight to lose, especially so, because that is the only thing I can relate to, is someone that's also got a lot of weight to lose. Because to me, I wish the least of my worries was having 2 stone to lose. Believe me, I really wish it was, but I also know it's a relative thing. I don't think that, and I know I've already sort of ended this, but I don't think that losing weight will make my life suddenly much more fucking amazing, because quite frankly I think my life is pretty fucking amazing. And I've always said that the only thing in my life that I would change would be my weight. That's all I have been trying to do my whole life, is to try and change it. And it must be able to, I must be able to do it, you know, I must be able to do it. And maybe that's why I feel like a failure, because I've always been good at the things that I do, and weight loss is just one of those things that I can't crack. So I just constantly feel like I'm a failure at it. And I put so much emphasis on that part of my life that I can't see the positives in the other parts of my life. And I've got something in my eye. It's gone. Um, that's about it, really. So until next time, bye. And I also know someone else who'd had it, and she's now sadly passed away, and not because of the surgery. It was a very tragic incident that occurred with her. And when I was reading of what people, you know, passing on their condolences, someone said, "Oh, she was doing so well with her weight loss as well," and like, the poor girl fucking died, and that's all you could talk about was her damn weight loss instead of the person that she was. And that really rubbed me up the wrong way.